Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. I've been drinking just a tad. That's Eric Morgan over there.
Yep.
That's Vanessa Williams over there.
I'm here. I'm so happy.
I'm Kelly Young. You're so happy. We're so happy.
Yeah.
We've missed you terribly.
High five, but not touch.
Right. Nobody touch each other. Also, I don't know if you listened to the last couple episodes, Vanessa, but Tony sat in for you. He was keeping your seat warm, and he was really bad.
He was good. He actually missing that element of random girl.
Very true.
Random girl.
I
that
guess I
says
didn't
stuff.
realize it, but you're absolutely right. We actually got a ton of feedback on Tony, and everybody loves Tony,
Tony's
just like
great.
we
Yeah.
do. Tony is a fucking encyclopedia when it
He
comes to
is.
movies.
Good Lord, man. And his impassioned talk about Sweetback was just like, thinking back to that, I was going,
my
Jesus.
gosh.
Oh my God, yeah.
Can I just cut my segment out of this
And
entirely?
just keep
Yeah,
it.
besides that, then he was mentioning what was the Exorcist version, the blaxploitation.
Yeah, I know the movie you're
Exorcist.
talking
It
about. It's
was
something with an A, Abby?
Abby, and
yeah.
Craig Mullins texted me in the middle of listening to it, going, "I have to see this movie. I have to see this movie now." And I was like, "Yes, now you know how we felt while he was talking about it." Like
Yes.
this.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have to admit it was incredibly difficult to listen to you guys and not be here to chime in. I was actually talking to my radio and saying things and then being like, well, I'm not here. I don't know why this happened in the past. I don't know why I
You
think I
got the
could.
ghost thing going on.
Yeah, in spirit.
Vanessa, can you tell us a little bit about why you weren't here live?
Yeah, so it was weird. So I took 2 weeks off to go over to Atlanta. I had a film project that I was working on. I'm doing a segment for WNUF Halloween Special #2. So I went out there and I filmed my segment, and I also was just trying to relax. But then I got a really big trailer for a game called Shovel Knight. Yeah. So I could not do it, and I worked 80 hours in 1 week. That's what I did. I sat on the carpet and I edited a
jeez.
Shovel Knight game.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
But
must have been
it went
cramp inducing.
well. Oh my gosh, but it was a good payoff in that it was on the front page of Kotaku and
That was
on
a great
IGN.
trailer. That was really good.
Yeah, the hopping one, the timed one. Yeah, that was me.
Good.
So you said nothing about why you were going there in the first place. I had no idea this was a WNUF thing.
It was part of it. Yeah. I mean, I mostly wanted to get away for a little bit because I just worked a bunch.
Can you
well.
tell us, I mean, is this going to be a Halloween release or what?
I actually don't know. I think that he's putting it together as he gets money and as he gets segments.
Okay.
So I don't think there's any kind of firm out date. However, I knew what my segment was, and I had access over there to a whole studio and a guy with a red and lenses and a green screen and stuff. So I just did my bit.
So WNUF Halloween Special is something we have talked about before on our Halloween episode. And so
Absolutely.
this is a sequel to
It
that.
is a sequel. It will not be in the 80s. I think it's more 90s based.
Okay.
But that's all I know about it. Actually, I know very little. I haven't seen a script. I've only seen the bit that I did.
How exciting.
Yeah. So I'm stoked. And also, it will be pizza. Pizza will be in it.
Of course.
I don't even know why you had to mention that.
I know
just
it
assumed
seems
there would be pizza
obvious,
involved.
but in case anyone would rather see pizza than me, you're in luck. I know I would.
All
Why
right.
not?
Well, it is great to be back. I have filled Vanessa with vodka and Monster Energy drink.
It's so good.
I have given Eric some Riesling that I'm
Yes.
drinking, also from a local winery that we both love.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Also, I've been drinking a lot today before we even started.
Do we take a shot every time Kelly says that?
No.
I'd be on number 2 at least.
So what I want to know is what you guys have been up to. Fuck, Vanessa, you must have seen a million things
Oh my
since we
god,
last
I did.
spoke
I
to
just
you.
realized that I need to look and see.
You don't know what you're talking about?
Because
Today?
I write them all down. Oh, well, I mean, I know the movies I'm going to be talking about, but what I've actually seen in the meantime, I might let one of you guys go first, just because I need to
Sure.
look it up.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know if any of you have been to the theaters lately, but I saw The Invisible Man.
I've heard good things.
Oh, I also saw Invisible Man.
You did?
I did.
What, you were working? What, you had time to go see a theater film?
I saw it when I got back 2 days ago or something. Or
Okay.
last week, I guess.
Here's what I'll say. I liked it, but I hated it.
Oh,
okay.
what?
Well, Eric knows what's my least favorite genre of film.
Home invasion kind of
Yes,
stuff.
and this felt so much like a home invasion film. My
That's pretty much what it
anxiety
is.
was ramped up
Oh,
so
no.
fucking high in this
Oh, my
film.
God.
Every time they showed an empty seat or an empty corner and you knew somebody was there, I had the worst time in the theater watching this. And then at the end, I had to sit there and go, that was a really fucking good movie, but I hated every minute of it.
Man, yeah. Honestly, I liked a lot about it. I think, gosh, what's her name?
Elizabeth Moss.
Okay, I was gonna say Elizabeth Moss, and I was like, wait, am I saying Olsen on accident? No, cool. Elizabeth Moss, she was incredible, and the effects that they were doing really
she was
worked
the
well.
entirety of the
She was
film.
that whole film.
I mean, you are following her through the entire thing, and
Yeah.
she was so
Nice.
good.
She
I
nails
don't even.
it.
I don't watch Mad Men. I don't watch The Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale, yeah.
I don't watch that at all. But she was so fucking believable
She's
in
good in
this
both of
movie that I
those.
was like, God damn, I loved it, but I literally hated it.
Oh my god, yeah. It's funny because I just watched Her Smell last week as well, and
Boy, saying it like that,
Yeah.
that's a really strange sentence you just said.
she's
She's such a good actor. I watch her sit there smelling flowers. And
I'm
watched
even
her
worse.
smell.
I'm like,
I
oh
just
yeah,
watched her smell
Vanessa, how
things.
was her smell?
well, in that film, probably pretty bad. No, she was great. She basically played Courtney Love in a film, so it was not a good film. It was kind of a shit film, but she was awesome.
Oh, okay.
And I'm never disappointed when I see her, even when she was in the Jordan Peele film in Us.
Oh, what?
She was the
Yeah.
neighbor.
Oh, completely forgot
She was the white
that.
girl
That's
neighbor.
true, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
performances weren't a problem for me and Us. I thought they were all pretty damn good.
Yeah, yeah.
She was pretty good. But
The only thing I didn't like about Invisible Man, honestly, and this isn't a spoiler, guy, the actual invisible guy. Dude,
you didn't like the actor that played.
no, I thought he was like a blanket, a wet blanket. I was like, you aren't scary and you're not personable.
Yeah, but he was in what 4 minutes of
I
the
know.
film?
He could have nailed it in those 4 minutes. He didn't have a lot to live up to.
Wow.
He just had to freaking roll on set and do a good job. Could he do that? No, he could not.
I'm so glad to have you back.
Drag on some poor actor out there. Sorry, dude. You freaking, he just paled so hard in comparison to Elizabeth Moss.
Thing I didn't love, and I didn't love it after the fact, and it was our buddy Matt telling me that she was a Scientologist.
Oh.
I was like,
Oh, it's hard.
Shit,
Yeah.
I hate supporting this, but
Yeah.
regardless, she's amazing.
Yeah. I know. I'd heard that a couple years ago, and before I started watching Handmaiden, and I kind of was like, you know what, I'm going to look past it, and who knows, maybe she's not anymore. Maybe she's seen the light.
No, I think
No,
she
I don't
still
think
is.
That's very. That's a hard
yeah.
one to leave.
That what I saw, I fucking loved it, and I hated it.
Cool. I've got a 5-star movie.
Oh,
Before that, though,
Whoa.
I do want to tell a kind of a funny little badass story about my wife
Oh, cool.
down in Vegas.
All right.
She was down there for a very large conference about she's in benefits, and Michael Bublé was one of the performers they hired to play there.
wow.
So her and her friends got a table in the area, and as soon as they settled down, there was a standing area in front of that. Two huge people got standing right directly in their way, and they're like to move or something. She's like, don't worry, I got this. Starts coughing and sniffling.
Oh my
and
God.
Going to her friends going, do you suppose you're going to let me on the airplane?
Oh my god.
And these two people move to the other side.
Yes. Beautiful. Oh my god.
Oh, so perfect.
Your wife is my hero.
Yeah.
That's genius.
I think that 5-star movie.
So the movie I got challenged with was from Bob Foster.
Okay. Bob,
mean,
what did he throw your way?
Panic in Year Zero from 1962.
I have not heard of
Either
that.
of you know of this one?
No.
It's pretty obscure. I think I found it on, Amazon, I think, or something. But budget film, which shows up very much right away in the beginning when it's sort of this weird Leave It to Beaver opening where the family's getting ready to go on a trip and they've got the car with the trailer behind it and the dad's out there working and then the mom comes out, hi, and then the son comes out and says, hi, how you doing? And the daughter's like, oh boy, what the fuck did you do to me, Bob? Well, to backtrack a little bit, directed by Ray Milland, who was best known, he did a lot of acting. He didn't direct much else except for A Man Alone, but he acted in a Dial M for Murder, Love Story, TV movie I might have to check out, Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
I remember
I want
this.
to know.
But
What
Ray
did-
Played Satan in King of Kings.
Excellent.
This is the director and the lead actor in this one. Plays the dad. Written by Jay Sims, who wrote The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and the Girl from U.N.C.L.E.
Okay.
Killroo.
Brilliant.
A guy named John Morton, but this is his only credit. Ray Lamont's the lead. Gene Hagen, who's Lena Lamont and from Singing in the Rain.
Oh,
She
cool.
played the annoying blonde character.
voice person.
And shows stuff like San Francisco. Mitchell played the daughter, Leave It to Beaver, Dementia 13, and Spider Baby.
Whoa.
Have you ever seen that one?
I know of it
Spider
from
Baby, yeah,
IndieFlix
definitely.
days.
That's a crazy ass film. And the son is played by Frankie Avalon.
This is a weird grouping.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. I didn't notice right away till I got to the very end. I had to go back and check. It has no opening credits, which is pretty weird for 1962.
For
It
a
just
film
has
of
a
that
title.
era, yeah.
You just go in.
Just a title card, and then it starts. It's an uncomfortable movie to watch right now because it's about a nuclear world kind of scenario where everybody's hoarding food and buying items.
I don't know why
and-
you think that's at all awkward. It makes no sense to. I mean, we're living in the best era of America ever. Just ask one of our fine leaders. Select any of them. They will say it.
Well, you can definitely tell some of the knowledge of what happens in that time was a little off because the explosion happens and their first thing is, we should go back home. It's like,
What? Like, oh, time for the roast.
but as they're going home, they realize all the traffic's going the other way. So the father decided it's definitely, 60s sexist at times where the dad's controlling and doing everything. And the mother's like, ah.
Yeah.
But
Day of the Triffids is like that too.
it's actually a really good film.
Really?
I was really surprised.
Damn. Okay.
The dad decides, okay, we're going to get off the road, 62, so nobody knows anything if you get to a small town early enough there. So he goes into town and buys like $300 worth of groceries
Yes.
and then
Yes.
gets the hardware guy to get there and, buys guns from him and gets ready. I was amused by, he goes to the gas station and apparently the gas station attendant had heard because gas was labeled 35 cents, but it's selling for, get this, $3 a gallon.
Whoa.
I wish it was $3 a gallon.
Right? Jeez, only if I put in my Safeway card can I get less.
Get that 50 cents or a dollar off.
Like, thank God I bought like $200 in groceries, so my gas is cheaper.
But there's definitely moments where the budget shows, but they basically hole up and find a cave and kind of hole up there for the rest of the time. Run into trouble on the road with hooligans.
Yeah.
Also kind of no holds barred. There are points where the guy should shoot somebody, and he does.
Oh, wow.
As opposed
That's
to,
fun.
I was expecting
Like
know,
the whole thing.
we're going to tie this guy up and leave him here. No, he shoots him. Like, all right.
A little waffling between what he should be doing.
Yes.
He's like, I'm in. Die.
He did not waffle, and neither did Frankie Avalon. He kind of plays a badass in this one.
That is surprising to me.
They find a woman at one point who they rescue from the guys he just blatantly shoots. And she immediately goes, hello, Frankie. There's flirting there.
Frankie Avalon was one hot piece of ass.
Yeah, he was in the Beach movies for a reason.
Yeah.
Interesting part, most of the crew was actually Roger Corman.
Really?
Stuff was used as the crew for this.
Did it look like a Roger Corman joint, or did it look?
It definitely had budget restraints.
Sure.
Yeah. Although some of them did comment, they feel he was a little overwhelmed as a director and actor, and it showed at times. So
That's rough.
a little out of control.
Yeah.
It's considered to be the second film ever put together about a nuclear holocaust, and I was going to go back and look up what the first was, and then I forgot.
Oh.
So there's another. That one was in, I think, 52 or 53.
Oh, okay. So there's an earlier one than that. Now I really want to know. I really need to know what the first nuclear holocaust described film was. It Godzilla?
No, American made one, but this and Godzilla's, a direct story. This is a direct one where it's actually an
Straight up
attack
about
and
that.
the mushroom clouds and all that things are going on.
Crazy.
But it's starting with that beaver opening. It gets really dark, really grim. The acting is quite good overall.
Wow.
I must admit, Frankie Avalon, not good at chopping wood with an axe.
Ooh, I would be immediately unimmersed. I'd be like, "Oh, son, your form be off.
Wow.
You put that act. Nope,
Got
you gotta."
one hand at the bottom, one hand up by the top of the axe head, and swings it that way down.
No!
It's like, that's not how you chop
That's
wood.
not how you axe at all. You need leverage over the head. Over the
Vanessa,
head.
you have an electric chainsaw. You have no
I
way
also
to
have an
speak
axe.
here.
I have like 2 axes and a hatchet.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I had to have something before the chainsaw, and I haven't christened my chainsaw yet because I didn't have chainsaw oil, so I just bought that from Amazon. This was buying Purell. I bought 4 boxes of chainsaw oil.
Love you so much.
You're gonna make sure nobody gets close enough to you for you to
Damn
worry about
right,
it.
you be stepping off my property, sir. It's battery operated. I can go for a while.
But I will say, Bob recommended a pretty good one. So far, you 5-star people have been pretty nice to me. Even the bad ones have been entertaining to watch. Like Extra was terrible, but really fun to watch.
Yeah,
Dude, Bob, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Actually, all these that I have then gone back and watched. You should actually let me know when you have one of these suggestions,
sure.
and then I will try to also watch it. Because
Sounds
Extra,
good.
I knew I liked beforehand, and this one sounds like something I would have loved.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to have like another chime in on one of these 5 stars.
Right.
Yeah. I don't really want to do
Thanks,
it.
Vanessa.
So Kelly, if
Thanks
you
for
are
backing me
interested, yeah, you guys should totally use your time. I have a question for you guys. I don't know if you've seen it or have already
Hold
talked
on,
about
before
it.
I finish.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Just wanted to say thanks, Bob, for suggesting that. That actually was a real kind of out of the box one and really pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
So anybody out there, get the 5-star ones in, and I'll watch it, or maybe I'll make Kelly watch it, and we'll just see what happens. See, that's why I volunteered to watch it.
Right.
That sounds brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much, Bob. I don't
We
know.
like
I'm
Bob.
excited. That
Yep.
sounds like a cool film. I'm definitely adding it to my apocalypse cinema.
Yes, you should. You like disaster
collection.
films. It's a
I
really
frickin'
good
do.
early era disaster
Oh
film.
my God, it'll make me so happy. So have you guys seen This Is Not Okay? The Netflix series?
I watched
No,
the
I have not.
first episode.
Sure.
Was I supposed to love it?
I didn't love it the first episode, and I was also shocked it was 20 minutes or something. It felt so quick in and out.
Here's the worst part.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our buddy Matt
Yes.
said, "Hey, are we watching this?" And I said, "I'm watching it." And I watched it, and I was like, I could barely make it for the first episode. And he said it was 20 minutes long, Kelly. And I was like, oh, what's wrong with me?
You need to be drinking while watching it, so time goes by faster. Actually, so I finished it up, and I had the same reaction for the first few episodes. I was like, man, this isn't quite what I was hoping for, but it does really pick up. And the ending of the season is pretty hot.
Well, what is it about?
I think it's mostly about a girl who can't control her emotions,
You
and
watched
it
the
manifests.
entire season, and now
It's
you're telling
Carrie.
me I think it's about this.
It's Carrie.
But she doesn't have abilities.
Yes, she does.
Well, I didn't get that in the 20-minute episode
Oh
I
my
watched.
gosh, that's why there's 8 of them, so that the story develops over time. That's why I'm saying watch more than the first like 2 or 3.
Boring.
Oh my God. No, it gets really, really crazy. There are moments I know you would love in this. So I'm just thinking you gotta make it all the way. You gotta get to prom.
The lead is the young girl from It.
Correct.
And I love her.
And Gretel and
She's-
Hansel.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she did a good job in that.
So you love her in Gretel and Hansel. Or maybe you loved her,
I
but
liked
you didn't
her just
love
fine.
the
I thought
story.
that, yeah, I didn't like the way they put the story together. I thought they had no idea what they were doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's good.
She's good.
We all agree she's an
She's
amazing
great.
actor.
Yeah.
Okay. I had no idea based on that first episode that that's where it was going. So maybe I
is.
will continue
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
really was wondering what Matt was seeing in this. Quite honestly, I was like, this seems like a lot of.
It's okay. It's
young girl
Carrie
angst.
if the powers go to somebody you really don't want the powers going to, because she does not control her anger very well. She's petty. She's not a good person. So when she explodes and like things happen, like, oh crap, like you shouldn't have done that at all.
Holy shit! I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you brought this up because I was not going to watch past the
You
episode
can make
I saw.
it through the 3.5 hours it would take to get through all 8 episodes.
Well, 20 episodes or 20 minutes an episode is
Yeah.
a lot to ask of me.
2 times 8, 16. Hold on.
It is YouTube.
I
videos,
feel-
116
10
minutes.
minutes or less.
I feel horrible now because this sounds exactly like the thing
You
I
would
like.
really like
and
it.
I was like, not my thing at all.
You just have to push past. It's like Riverdale. Like it's got its ups and downs. So
I
okay, it's like
cannot
Sabrina.
Wait.
It's like Sabrina. It's got its ups and downs. I got to find the right one for you to like this.
All right. Can we talk about Riverdale?
I haven't seen this season yet, but you can talk about it.
Nah, I'm not going to do
It's
it.
not as much fun that way.
I really, because I didn't realize that CW plays it as well as it being on Netflix.
Let me just put
Oh,
this
yeah.
out there.
Mm-hmm.
You, a couple of episodes ago, said that you didn't like Sabrina.
Yeah.
Because the TV series sucked, you hated it, and I should totally
Everybody
be
was
reading
garbage,
the
it was
comics.
shot like
and I
Wow,
was like,
it sounds like me.
wow. I was like, wow, I really like this show. Maybe I should read the comic book.
Uh-huh.
So I read the comic book, and Vanessa, you're so right.
Yay!
The comic book is so good.
It's so
It's
good.
so dark.
Yes.
It's so creepy, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think they could have adapted the comic book to a 3-season series like
I don't
they have
think
right
so.
now.
I think it would be a one-off. I
It'd be
think
like
it'd be
about
like
4 episodes.
Yeah, I was gonna
maybe.
say 3 or
Eric,
4
have you read the
episodes.
comic now?
Yeah.
Would you agree that the comic is way better?
It's way different.
It
it's
is way
different
different.
enough that I
It makes it hard
That
to
it
watch the
almost-
show and marry it
not for me
together.
at all.
It's
because
set in the 60s.
exactly.
It's so set in the 60s that it's
Yes.
like, wow, this.
and Sabrina's hardly a lead character for like
Yes.
4 or 5 issues.
Yeah.
And so it's so different
Yeah.
that to me it's like, well, the Watchmen movie versus the Watchmen comic books.
Right.
It's a really strong interpretation of the comic books, but it's really goddamn different.
Right.
I
Yeah.
really like the comic books and I really like the show.
Yep.
I'm the same way with Sabrina. I really like the show for what it is, except for the musical crap they did in the last season.
It's a little
And I
lost.
really like the comics for what they are.
Yeah.
And been in your situation where I'd read the comics first and then
Right.
watched it, it
That's
probably would
the
have been
problem.
different. But now
Yeah.
they're
I think
so
you did it
different.
the totally right way. I think having seen the show first and getting to enjoy that spice of like darkness and then to go into the comics and see how dark they can go is a better way than what I did. Because I was like, man, this is freaking you like. I was in the Kool-Aid and you watered it down.
Yeah, I had no idea. When you were saying that, I was like, what are you talking about? The TV show.
You kept texting me and being like, it's not dark yet, Vanessa. Like I'm reading, I'm like 3 issues in.
And the thing is that I feel like the TV series did what they could with the comic book and made it something that could continue on.
Yes. It does have a much better like longevity.
Yeah.
And I do like her relationship with the dude bro from her school.
Yeah.
I think that's neat. I think it's powerful. I like the way that she's like the way they display sex and questions, and I don't know. There's some interesting stuff in there.
I like both of these incarnations of it, but I have to say that I'm super disappointed. The guy who created this whole version of the comic that the show is based on, which I didn't realize, he's kind of like bowed out now.
Sure.
So we have no idea if there's even going to be a finish to the comic book
I'm so
series.
depressed about this because that's what like really shotgunned this whole thing. This whole like Archie revolution was stemmed from this Sabrina comic.
He fucking brought back that company from the verge of bankruptcy.
Grave.
basically.
In very
Yes.
few issues.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't take much.
It all started apparently with a poster that was commissioned from the artist guy that I actually met, not the guy who actually rebooted everything. But they had asked him to do.
Francavilla.
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
they asked
yeah,
him
it's
to
pretty
draw like an Archie zombie thing.
Right.
So he drew it, and people were like, "Whoa, we like this."
Yeah.
He did it
a
as
weird
a
amount.
joke because there's a comic called Life with Archie, and
Yeah.
he did it as a joke called
Afterlife.
with Archie.
Yeah.
and,
That's
pretty good.
And it got such a huge response that prompted them to do an Afterlife with Archie comic book.
Yep, which is also great.
So I hate you, and
You're
my
welcome.
bank account hates you because
You're very welcome.
I bought not only all of the Sabrina comics, but then all of the Afterlife with Archie comics,
Oh,
which were
sweet.
so good.
They're fun.
I have to read those too now.
And that's a problem too because those are
Ongoing.
way,
Which ones did
way
you read?
beyond. They're way behind on coming.
The problem is they keep doing one of each one. So they've got Vampironica, they've got the first Jughead Werewolf one, they've got Afterlife with Archie, but only the first one. So we keep getting just one burst of each one.
The Afterlife with Archie is super interesting because it basically it posits a zombie apocalypse in the Archie world.
Very much Archie world.
Which
yes.
is really interesting because it's super
How
dark.
would those
because
characters
I don't
actually
even
react
think
to it?
I don't think I've ever read an Archie comic book.
I had some of how when I was younger they had the Archie digest
Yes, at the checkout
stand. Yeah, I read like 2 or
Same.
3 of those.
Well, so I
I
don't
probably
know
read
if-
like 50 of those as a kid. I was like, yeah, this one's got Ninja Turtles in it. This one.
That's just it. I don't know if I've ever, but I still know who everybody is,
Yeah.
and then you throw a zombie apocalypse into this group, and you
Yep.
make them all act like they would.
Yep.
And I was like totally sucked into it. I fucking loved it. And then it took like 2 years to do 8 episodes or 8 issues,
jeez.
and they are way, way, way behind on this 9th episode or issue, and everybody is like, we're angry,
Waning.
we're So
It's
there's
tough.
all sorts of things
Did you
going
read
on.
Predator, or did you read the Predator one yet?
No.
Okay, it's
all I've
also
done is
similar.
the Sabrina and the Afterlife with Archie.
I would say if you really liked Afterlife with Archie, the Predator one's pretty good because it also plays it straight. It's 100% the Archie universe, but with Predator.
So that's the interesting thing. That's the interesting thing. None of these things really tie into each other. Sabrina does not tie into Afterlife with Archie.
Correct.
There is a
They like-
Sabrina
They're
in
completely
Archie,
separate.
and
Yeah,
it's
it's-
not
it's
the
his own
Sabrina
comic.
from the Sabrina comic.
Yep. Yeah.
So they have all these various different universes.
Yeah. It's like a
But it is-
multiverse of Archie.
Yeah, it's so strong. It's so dark. It's so much better than The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, why are there only 9 issues of
I
this
know. I
comic?
don't understand why there isn't a big push behind it because people
I gotta go.
will
That's
buy
a
this.
bold statement though, because if you're talking about the best of The Walking Dead,
Better than
not
the
last
best.
20 years,
Better than the best
20 years.
of The Walking Dead, Eric. I'm telling
Of the
you.
comic.
So strong. And it's because the thing is that they're saying, hey, we're not saying that Archie and Monica and Betty never happened. We're saying it happened, and now we're putting a zombie apocalypse on top of that, and everybody acts accordingly. So it's like you lived a life with these people and something horrible has happened instead of The Walking Dead where you didn't know any of these people until the zombie apocalypse happened.
Definitely have a different flavor.
Yeah.
They're very, very
It's
different.
like if suddenly the zombie apocalypse happened and we were all living through it, we all know the, 30, in my case, years prior to the zombie apocalypse happening.
Does this mean we've just changed our podcast to like comic discussions?
How dare you?
I love it.
You know that Marvel one you introduced me to? I've listened to a few now, and after listening to a couple, I'm going, God damn, man, it'd be cool to do a comic book.
I know. Fuck that. We're talking about the what is that? The Epic Collection podcast.
Yeah.
Those guys are nerds.
I had that running.
We wouldn't know anything about that.
Also, I've listened to like 500 of their episodes now.
Yes.
I'm just like, well, I should buy the Shang-Chi Epic Collection now.
Oh man, God, yes, me too. That was a great. That was one of the first ones I listened to. Ooh, they have kung fu. All right.
Yeah. Welcome to the Nerd Podcast.
Yeah, if you didn't know that already, you
Reading
haven't
with
been
nerds.
listening.
I just want to mention one more film I saw, you guys,
Okay.
Yeah.
on Netflix.
That's on my list.
I haven't heard
That
of this
sounds
at all.
familiar.
Okay. It is a documentary.
Okay.
It is the story of Willie T. Ribbs,
Yes,
who is
I
the
wanted to see
very
this one.
first Indy 500 black
Ooh.
driver.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks good.
Oh my God. It's an Adam Carolla documentary.
What? Wait, what does that mean?
He
He hosts it?
no, there's nothing of him in it, but he made it.
Oh,
What?
he produced it?
Yeah, he's a
Okay.
huge race car driver
I didn't
guy.
realize
Yeah,
this.
I mean, if you go on to Netflix, all of his documentaries are on there. What they're all
Are
called?
they all racing ones?
Yeah, they're all racing ones. They're all really good. That last Ford v Ferrari movie is based on his documentary.
What?
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not based on his documentary, but his documentary came out
Spurred
first.
that going.
Wow.
And it's the exact same story, but it's the true story. This story, so Willie T. Ribbs, basically, it's a talking head documentary because I don't love those, but it kind of is because Willie T. Ribbs narrates his story through
Oh,
the
cool.
entire thing, and
Wow.
there's all this footage from back then, and I say back then. When I was watching this, I was like, this has to be a documentary about stuff happening in the 60s, right? No. From the 80s and on.
Whoa.
And you realize, wow, I had no idea all of this racism was going on in my lifetime.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
still pretty bad.
Those moments when you're like, oh my, you watch an old film and you just see something, you're like, oh shoot.
Yes.
I forgot that we were like that and I'm upset about it.
So this guy comes on, and like one of the first thing he says is, they called me uppity. They called me an uppity N-word, which he says right there. And then he looks at the camera and he goes, and I loved it. And you kind of realize what you're in for. He's just like, I'm gonna fuck everybody up in this industry. And he does, and he has a lot of ups and downs and some really low downs where you're just like, oh boy, I feel horrible that I lived during this time when this was going on. I didn't realize this was happening.
You know, it's your fault that the race society was like the actual race car society was
Right.
coming down.
What
on.
kind of cars? What's the
The
circuit?
Formula One mostly.
Oh, wow. Okay. yeah.
So it was
It's
the
a-
Indy 500 and everything, and that was back in the 80s. I guess it was a bunch of good old boys.
It's a rich man sport. Like I did a
Yeah.
mini doc on a female who's a race car driver for like Microsoft. It was the thing. But and yeah, if you don't have a ton of money, you
Yes.
cannot be a race car driver. It is almost impossible. So I can totally see it being an old boys club or inherited from like a tradition of my dad had this thing and I'm now doing this
Sometimes,
thing.
if you have a ton of money,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter either if you're not the right color. But what is the what did you do?
It was on Colette Davis, who's like a female car driver. She's pretty good, but it was just following kind of her life story and how she made it to where she is. And Microsoft was like, and she uses the Surface. So it was one of my corporate gigs.
Well, okay.
Where can we watch this, or can we?
I think it's online somewhere, and it's probably on YouTube or on the Microsoft Surface store or something like that. I did it a couple years ago. It was part of a series. So there's another guy who invented like a 3D like arm replacement, joint replacement thing. Yeah. So it was following people who were inspirational. So she was one of them, and it was really fascinating because I just watched like probably about 30 hours worth of footage of just interviews of her and her dad talking about how hard it was to get off the ground. It's insane. And the amount of money, like you have to have a sponsor and they have to be willing to put in millions for you to drive.
Yeah. So I loved this. Eric, you know, I'm a car guy. I work on my car and all that stuff. A Corolla guy, and he had done the 24-Hour War, which is the same story as Ford v Ferrari, and then he did Shelby American, which is
nice.
all the stuff about which was taken out of that documentary. It's really interesting stuff, and I want to know about this one that you're talking about. I'm just like, God, these
fascinating.
Yeah, these documentaries. I fucking love them.
Sports ones can be interesting because sports, like I'm not a big boxing fan, not necessarily a big race fan, but I love their movies because the movies take a lot of what's sort of boring about watching a race and kind of get rid of it.
Yeah.
And same with boxing. I remember the first boxing
drama.
I ever watched was the Rocky movies. Then I watched a real boxing match. I'm going, oh, this is nothing like watching boxing in the movies.
This is so much longer.
You'll agree with me that we're not huge video game fans, but King of Kong is maybe the best documentary ever, right?
So
All we
good.
want is a good story, right?
Yep,
And this one, which is called Uppity on Netflix right now, is fucking amazing. So
awesome.
I gotta say, check it out if you can.
It's brilliant.
With Dina out of town, I spent an entire week totally catching up on.
I was gonna say
Crypticon movies.
I have a
I've
number. Like how many? I've watched 23 films since last. How many have you watched?
Not 23.
Probably more. With Crypticon,
Yeah, it's a lot more than
way
that.
More.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because
But you have shorts in there too.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no. Actually, it's it works when you're watching submissions. Oh, look, here's a 1 minute short. I'll watch that right now.
Totally.
I'll work
Seems
up to
better
the
than
5,
the hour and a half.
and I'll work up to the 30-minute shorts.
Let's talk about films that our listeners could also hear.
Yes,
Or see.
I
mean,
don't,
see.
I've got that for our subject.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, one other one I'll bring up then before we head into our picks. Have you guys watched Horse Girl?
I've heard of it, but I have not watched it yet.
It's interesting. I mean, Alison Brie is, of course, always great. She's really good at being crazy. Really good at being crazy ever since like Community and on. She's got some good chops. The story is really hard to grasp and you're not sure what's real and what's not, which is great because it gives you this sense of like maybe this is what it's like to start to lose grasp on reality and start to enter a world of like dementia or like schizophrenia. Like what is this universe like for the person who's experiencing it? And it's 100% from her perspective. So it's like she'll wake up in weird places and she'll see weird things and she'll see people that she saw in her dreams and she'll like run after them and be like, don't you remember this thing we went through? And you can just imagine that this is the kind of thing that you would see a crazy person on the street doing. So it's super
nice,
heavy.
Light evening.
It's heavy as hell. Yeah, only watch it if you want to like go down an experimental kind of road.
Hulu or Netflix?
This is Netflix.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this was it kind of snuck out there, and I don't know how much promotion they've done for it, but I was just like, sure, why not? Seems crazy. Let's do it.
It popped up. Is it a series or a movie?
Just one movie.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a quick in and out. Yeah, it's a hard one. Like, it's always hard to like go through like those like mentally like falling apart films. I feel like it's never a fun ride.
What, you don't like that?
If you're putting me right in the driver's seat, no, I don't. I'm like, you know what? This is rough, and I feel a lot more sensitivity for that experience because it makes sense. It makes sense to the person. And it's funny because she keeps saying, I know I sound crazy, but this is the thing that is happening, and no one believes her. So, yeah.
That's the worst part. I feel like I have said that a million times. I know I sound crazy, but
Sure.
yeah.
Yep, I do it all the time. The time.
Except that when you say it, you sound crazy.
I know. That's the best part.
Well done.
Yep. I'm just like, oh, I know I sound crazy, guys, but you've already invited me into your house. No going back now.
Shit.
I'm drinking I got your glass in my hand. I'm putting my Corona all over it. Sorry.
Well, all right. Should we take a little break and then get into our picks for animation, right?
Yep, that's this week.
All right. Perfect.
Welcome, champion hand washers. Keep washing till you're done singing. You're a hand washing rock star. Yay! Good job.
Wash, wash, wash your hands, got to get them clean. Every finger one by one and lather in between. Wash, wash, wash your hands, got to get them clean. Every finger one by one and lather in between.
20 seconds, all clean. Hey, where's the towel? I'm a big kid now.
And we are back. Hey, what do you guys think of Sleep Mattress, huh?
Sleep Mattress USA.
That's right.
Choo choo. Sleep Mattress USA. Why buy a mattress anywhere else?
All right. Anyway, so this was my pick. I picked animation, you guys, and I picked this because there's so many cool animated films that just nobody ever talks about because animation is often thought of as a kid's genre.
Right. This was a cool week. You chose a cool topic.
Did I?
Oh my God. It was hard to pick. I was looking at weird off the wall stuff and I still had an incredibly hard time deciding which one to go with.
Hey, there's no reason we need to make this just one time only. There's some amazing adult animation out there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, I chose from 1983 the movie Rock and Rule.
Rock and rule. Good band, hot music, the best of times. It could have lasted forever. Rock and rule. Journey to a world where the cosmic forces of music, magic, and technology collide, bringing you head to head with a beast from another dimension. The Beauty, songs by Deborah Harry. The Beast, songs by Lou Reed and Iggy Pop. The Beat, songs by Cheap Trick and Earth, Wind and Fire. Love everywhere. Rock and rule.
I know that Eric has seen this.
Oh, yeah.
Vanessa, have you seen this? You have. Got a framed poster as you walk into my
It's right in the front entrance there.
right there next
there
to
it
heavy
is.
metal.
I see it.
Nice grouping.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
if light on in your hallway, I would notice it.
How dare you? This had a budget of, and I'm going to blow your minds here,
Okay.
$1 million.
Holy shit. When was this made again?
Drawing.
1983.
That's the best of the best inks. They were like, I'm going all the way to like the fanciest ink store.
I'm gonna make you guys hurt right now by saying the box office was $30,000.
And they were never heard from again. They were found at the bottom of the ocean.
Right, Eric. If you're looking up shit, look up the Rotten Tomatoes critics and audience for this because I wrote it down and then didn't bother to look for it.
I'm sure it was great.
It might have been.
Let's go
that
83-20.
It might have been that the critics and audience just didn't get a chance to even see this theatrically, and that might be why I don't have listened
Animation,
for it.
I found that actually pretty consistently tough. Like Rotten Tomatoes doesn't cover a lot of weird, obscure animation.
Yeah, this is weird and obscure. It finally came out on DVD, I don't know, 5-10 years ago. And it came out in the theaters in 83 and I didn't get to see it. What I had was a Marvel Comics super special version of it.
Huh.
Well, again, I thought it
Rock and Rule.
Rule. Okay, that's what I thought. It's
Are you
not
LE?
showing up.
Yeah,
Do you need,
so
like, the-
maybe you're running into the same problem I had. This was a Marvel Comics super special, and it was really cool because they had, instead of like a illustrated version of the film, they actually had cells of the film used as comic strips.
What?
And it was so cool because it looked amazing. It looked way cooler,
bananas.
unfortunately.
They're like, let's draw it, let's film it, and then let's take the film and draw it.
Well, it's like a cartoon version of like that Invasion of the Body Snatchers book I gave you a while back, where it's photo frames from the film.
Whoa.
That's what it was like.
That's
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Only it was magazine format, and it looked great. It looked way better than the actual film did. So Tomato Meter has it as 72% audience score. I'll be honest.
That's a pretty fair number of audience members. Too,
Yeah, I'll be
like
honest.
3.7K.
That's a little high.
Really?
Yeah.
3,700 people can't be wrong.
This is not a good movie.
Oh.
Kind of an amazing movie, if that
Okay.
makes sense. If you're
No.
a fan of music and animation, if you like heavy metal,
Okay.
the movie, you're going to love this movie.
Okay, I don't like heavy metal.
Well, then you're not going to love this movie.
Done. Gavelled.
Well,
okay.
alrighty then.
I'm out. See you later, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
tell us more about this. I'm really excited.
All right. So the director was Clive Smith.
I don't think you'll like it at all, but I'll be really excited to hear about it anyways.
I keep an air of positivity. I'm willing to be swayed.
Okay.
Clive Smith has 77 producing credits and almost the exact same number of directing credits, but most of it is all animation from the 80s, from this time. Family Dog. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Ruff, ruff.
And,
I don't know.
Oh, okay. That was an offshoot of the Amazing Stories episode that had the family dog, Pippi Longstocking, shit like this. Anything I was interested in.
Yeah. Right.
I'm so confused right
were
now.
these Saturday morning ones or?
Well, Pippi Longstocking, I think, was a full-length movie
It was.
in
They
the
did do
80s,
it.
It was.
Yeah.
and that was his.
They did an animated one and a live.
Not
the live
animated.
action.
Just as
the
a live
It was
action one.
live action.
I do remember that.
Super weird.
Dog was a full-length series, but only one season, and he was a director on that. He also did 77 other credits that I wrote down.
I expect you to
That'll
write
work.
down to say 78 more films, sir.
We need at least 14 references for every person we talk about.
Sander. You guys familiar with this guy?
No.
Yes, you are. Let me
Yes.
tell you why.
Say,
You ever heard of Inspector Gadget?
Yes.
Yes, he wrote a ton of those.
That makes so much sense.
Have you ever heard of the Care Bears?
Yes.
Yes, he wrote a ton of
I
those.
had a blanket.
Barbar, the elephant.
Yes.
I like that.
Or
Only
think it
mostly
was
racist.
I think it was Babar. Yeah,
Babar.
yeah. Star Wars droids. Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Yes. I've heard,
Do you
of course.
remember
That was a
the
weird-
animated
yeah.
cartoon
Yes.
of
No.
Tales from the Crypt?
No, I didn't have any
Yes.
fun special
So,
channels.
All that this guy did was write a ton of animated shit.
Sounds
Stars. Susan Roman, who plays Angel.
Okay.
And she has 78 credits, mostly films you've never heard. It's all animated features
All animated porn
from
films.
Canada.
Okay.
It stars Greg Salata, who plays Omar.
That is
Like The Wire.
The Wire. Yeah.
He's been in Kate and Alley and Ryan's Hope.
Nope.
No?
Okay, I know that
Okay.
No touchdowns for me.
All right. Don Franks,
Nope.
who plays Mock, who had 187 credits on his IMDb. Some of them as recently as Hemlock Grove.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Probably recognize him if you saw him.
Yeah.
And the X-Men series,
Oh, well, wait. Who won the X-Men series?
the X-Men cartoon series.
Yeah. I'm still in it.
Whoa, shit. I didn't actually write down who he played. Sorry.
That's my X-Men. That's how I got in.
I forgot
That's the
that-
animated series.
The X-Men animated series. That's
that
your
was
jam.
my jam. That was right there. I skipped church to see that.
I love that about you.
I was
I'm going to pitch this to you, Vanessa, because
Okay, I'm
Eric
ready.
has seen this film.
All right.
It is set in a post-apocalyptic future.
I'm in.
Humanity has died,
Yes. Even better.
and common animals such as dogs, cats, and rats have mutated
Yes.
and become intelligent, and they now live in our cities as anthropomorphic versions of themselves.
All right. I'm like 65% in.
What if I threw in music by Earth, Wind, and Fire and Cheap
Oh,
Trick?
yeah. That's amazing.
go.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm here. All right.
And Blondie.
Yes.
So
That's cool.
it's okay. So
It was pretty good.
Let me-
Don played Sabretooth. He voiced Sabretooth.
Thank you.
the
That's what I want to
cartoon,
know.
right.
I know Sabretooth. I remember clearly.
So, Angel and Omar are squabbling lovers in a punk band, and Mock is a famous singer in the David Bowie mold, or quite honestly, in the Mick Jagger mold, if you're just going for looks, which is unfortunate
Poor
because
guy.
he's like a mutated rat. And Mock is trying to bring hell to earth. Now, this is the early 80s
very
when we
specific
were
wish.
all fucking freaked out about the satanic panic and all this stuff. There's no reason why Mock would want to bring hell to earth
That's
except
odd.
for the fact that he loves Satan.
Is Satan AKA just metal? The metal scene?
It's more like just evil. It's not even anything as interesting as metal.
Yeah, because none of the bands you mentioned were
badness.
necessarily in the Satanic Panic.
Yeah.
to be
Wind and
honest.
Fire was totally satanic. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Blondie.
Play it
Blondie
backwards,
was
man.
Lead that
You'll know.
charge.
Mock kidnaps Angel because he has learned he's got this electronic key. there's some questionable computer stuff going on in
Yes.
this film.
Great.
The great way to
even better.
date
Yeah.
your film.
Yeah, and Mock has learned that in order to fill the final puzzle piece that he needs to bring this demon to Earth, no reason why he would want to, but he wants to, and the final piece he needs is one specific voice, and so he's been doing this this nationwide search for voices.
It's like America's Got Talent, but for the hell to come
Absolutely.
forth.
This is
Yes!
exactly what he's doing. And he finds it in a little town called Ohmtown. Now, Ohmtown is a great name because it reminds you of hometown,
Sure.
but it's Ohmtown, O-H-M, because ohms.
Yeah, it's got that sound thing going for it.
Well, also because it's the future, and ohms were a thing of the future. This is tech talk, you guys.
Okay,
Keep
now I'm-
up in Ohmtown. He's in this dive bar listening to this punk band play. For some reason, the little key that he has lets him know that this is the voice that he's been waiting for, and it's the voice of Angel. Now, Omar has been singing in this band, but Omar sings in the voice of Robin Zander, the singer of Cheap Trick.
Oh.
Nice.
But Angel sings in the voice of Debbie Harry, the singer of Blondie.
Odd.
Sure.
And her voice is much more apparently suitable for raising demons.
Damn right she is. Fucking Debbie Harry, watch out.
Right. So she starts singing this really lovely song, and his key lights up, and he's like, oh, I need to have this. Think of Mick Jagger as a rat.
Yes.
Going, I need to have this voice. The weird thing is,
I can't even fathom this film anymore.
Mick Jagger right now, you're like, what is going on with this fucking skeletal figure? But guess what? The rat in this video, this animated rat version of him still looked better than he did in 1983.
Yeah. His downward spiral started pretty early in his career.
Mick Jagger had a downward spiral? I missed this.
He basically kidnaps Angel. Omar and his friends have to then chase after her into New York City.
Oh, I wonder what happened there.
Wow.
Just normal.
They go into a
This is just
dance
normal New York.
club. They eventually have to track her down to this gigantic concert that Mock is putting on. And he's got her basically chained to this weird thing where she's got like this this thing around her throat that is making her make the notes that she needs to make. Yeah.
That's shit.
And it's it's totally bullshit.
Sorry, I mean, like, obviously, but still.
Right. She has to sing these notes. She's basically forced to sing these notes by this throat, this
Machine.
neck thing that, like, It's not even as cool as.
Her heart's not in it.
Yeah, it's not even as cool as The Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I could just listen to this all day long.
that was exactly the movie reference I was thinking while you were describing what happened to her.
I'm glad. Mock has built this pit to hell, and this demon starts coming out. Now, keep in mind, this is a cartoon from the 1980s. This demon looks so fucking cool and creepy. There's so much going on here. There's like spaghetti or something. It's you to watch this movie.
Spaghetti now? There's
This
like Debbie
spaghetti
Harry,
demon
and there's
is
a collar,
awesome.
and
The
spaghetti.
demon in this is awesome. The music is awesome. And of course, Mock has been promised that once he gets this demon onto Earth, why he wants it?
knows?
Not sure.
matter.
Yeah.
Unknown.
But he
Cooler
has been
pants.
promised that there is not one voice that can bring it back to Earth.
Okay.
Or to hell.
Okay.
Right. There's not one voice, Vanessa.
Okay. Are there three?
There's two. There's two.
Oh.
It's Angel who brought it up, and her boyfriend Omar. Once they start harmonizing, which is pretty basic, fifths harmonies. It's not like any other male singer could have harmonized with her and probably set this demon back to hell.
But love
It doesn't
is
matter.
key.
You're absolutely right. Love
There
is
you
the
go.
key.
Without
and that's
love, we
what
got
the
nothing.
entire song is about.
So love means hell?
No, love means the opposite of hell.
Oh.
Sending things away.
Oh,
Evil goes away.
Okay. So he jumps in, and then heaven takes over the hell thing.
Not heaven so much as
Just
love. Just
sure.
the fact that these two people who have squabbled the entire movie, who we have been told for 90 minutes are probably not a good mate.
Oh dear.
Yeah, they
Yes.
become the reason that this demon is sent back.
Beautiful.
After that, literally the credits rise as they have sent the demon back. We don't know. A bit of trivia on this film, you guys. The that
Question,
made this
answer later.
is Nelvana. And you might know them if you're super geeky as the company that produced the very small animated segment of the Star Wars holiday special that introduced Boba Fett.
I never saw the holiday special.
I know you and Rick a gift from that.
Yes, you did. Thank
I
you.
know it
R2D2
exists.
playing a guitar.
Oh my God! How? Okay.
Whoa, that's
Say this music in this, I feel like this was trying to like latch onto some of the heavy metal success. I'm not even sure that heavy metal was a success in 1981.
Yeah, it was like was
did
it a
it come out?
VHS cult
81.
classic?
No, Heavy Metal came out in 81.
Yeah, Rock and Roll was
Came out in
83, and I'm just going to say this feels like it wanted to be heavy metal without the R rating. Music by Cheap Trick, Blondie, Reed,
Oh,
Iggy Pop,
holy shit.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. There's no soundtrack album available for
No.
Jeez.
Oh, make your own. Make your own on Spotify.
However, everybody, let me just say this: that if you go on to various Cheap Trick albums and you look for the song names from this movie, you will find them on various best ofs and B-sides. And Blondie, well, Debbie Harry, Deborah Harry, released a version of the big final song called Maybe For Now or something like that.
Maybe,
Sounds like a
maybe for
song
now, it's a
title.
deep, powerful song.
Well, just look for it. Say Debbie Harry
Rock and roll.
rock and roll, and you'll end up with the song. The problem is that it's different lyrics, and it's not her harmonizing with
Right,
Robin
just her.
Zander like she does in the film. So there's those kind of things.
Okay.
Last bit that I want to give you guys, because I loved this bit of trivia. Mock, they had originally tried to get Mick Jagger to do the voice, and he had turned it down.
Sure.
Then when the film came out and the character's name was Mock Swagger, Jagger's company or whatever it was, they said uncomfortable with all of this.
Yeah.
And they made them turn it to just Mock instead of Mock
Mick.
Swagger.
You know, those-
You don't
those
always
Rolling
want to be
Stones.
represented by a rat who's trying to bring hell onto earth and like also like control Debbie Harry.
Right. Or Vanessa,
Sure.
you can't always get what you want.
Oh.
But if you try, sometimes you just might find.
You get what you need.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but that fits, yeah.
That works even better than what you're going to say.
All right, next.
Oh,
Oh
well.
my God.
Right, if I dive in.
Oh, you are welcome to.
save
I
that.
will.
I went through a lot for this one.
I know you
Awesome. What is your
Originally started with one that I don't remember myself. It's based on a video game,
beautiful?
Deep Space Downfall.
Yep. Yep.
And it was fine.
Okay.
It's gory as hell. It's kind of entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I kind of like it, actually.
But it's
It's a
going
fun
on there.
game.
It's very obviously a prelude to a video game that was coming out.
Yep.
I was like, okay. I watched Lord of the Rings, Ralph Bakshi.
Oh,
It's like, fuck, this is good. And then I watched Wizard. So this is
Fits.
great.
I didn't even think about this
yeah.
direction.
But then I was like, okay, these are both ones I really, really love.
Yeah.
But they're also really huge and geek.
I love that we're like we have to be so geek that we're beyond geek. We're like,
Well,
no,
sometimes.
too
Sometimes.
geek.
I mean, those both could come back in future episodes.
True.
Might fit it even better.
Very true.
But I was like, okay, well, let's try and find a horror one. More of a horror. Ended up going with one called Fears of the Dark.
Y a quelqu'un?
French film that was made sometime, if I would have written the date.
One day. A date.
I'll have to
unknown.
say, I don't know this movie.
I've never
Fears
heard of it
the
either.
Dark?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was surprised on that one. It did have an interesting Rotten Tomatoes score where 73 critics, 58 from the audience,
Ouch. Okay. So.
which after watching it, I actually kind of get. An anthology. So I'm just going to list off the directors as opposed to saying all the stuff they worked on, because there's like 7 of them. Sure. But there's, I think I'll list them when we get to their, this is Blutch, Blutch. That's all.
not a
That's
word.
it. That's all his name is.
That's ridiculous.
It's a name, Vanessa.
Sort of.
I am being
It's
mean.
Butch. It's
Blitch, Blith,
and it's Charles Burns,
Bluth.
Mary Calou, Pierre de Cialou, Lorenzo Mortutu, and Richard Maguire. It's a French film. It's produced and done in French. It's in French. Well, when there's talking. It's a series of short, kind of creepy, weird animated films. The wraparound stories. Okay. One is directed by Blutch, and it's almost a Bill Plimpton style. Not quite. It's not as vibraty as he gets, but it's got that kind of line art. And it looks pretty cool about a dog. Some guy with dogs going around attacking people. It's rather unpleasant. That's an ongoing segment that comes up between there's 4 or 5 major ones. Second one's really weird. It's a really strange.
Are they all different animation styles? Like
Very
each one?
different.
Cool.
It's very cool. The second one is flat out abstract shapes. It's all black and white. The entire film is black and white.
Holy shit.
This one's very bizarre because it's a female narrator talking about fears and anxieties.
Oh.
So it goes bizarrely political. It gets very much about living in a world full of anxiety. So it's like real world horror, not entertainment movie horror. So it's like, okay, this is context almost. But it's also a reoccurring one that both of those reoccur after each of the main ones. So the first large one is by Charles Burns. It's a older man reflecting on what happened when he was younger. And the story is when he's a kid, he was a bug hunter and he found a very unusual bug. And he lost that bug.
No.
But as he grew up, his bed, at certain times of night, he could hear sounds in his bed. So he realized that, I don't know if you ever realized that the bug was still with him. But boy, let me tell you, when he first brings home a woman, he finds out.
Oh, no.
And
That's awful.
Don't let the bed bugs
I'm out.
bite.
I'm not going to watch this movie.
it's beyond that even. It's not just like a bug attack.
It's like bug sex.
No,
Oh,
it's
okay. That's good.
Probably more similar to Metamorphosis. But so I'll leave that one a little open so you can see where it goes because it's really weird.
I'm not going to watch this, man. This sounds awful.
How did you watch this?
Yeah.
Amazon.
Oh,
It was a fairly big. The poster looked very familiar to me. I was going, I've seen this poster a lot. It's this great block, late 50s, early 60s block style lettering. It did very well on the festival circuit a few years. Then goes back to the reoccurring thing. The next segment, which was probably my least favorite, although still interesting looking, was Marie Calou's one, who about a little girl who's going through a nightmare, but she keeps waking up out it, and the doctor's like, you have to see this through all the way to the end. So it's still good, but its style is more anime. It's familiar looking. It's not a particularly like, wow, my God, this animation is so cool. It's good. Fourth one is written by Jerry Kramsky, designed and directed by Lorenzo Mattotti. This one is also beautifully illustrated. It's also a little more abstract. It gets kind of more into the line ones. It's 2 friends discussing about how they think maybe this beast had taken this person off, and somebody finds a head in a bag and killed this person.
They're just talking about it?
And as it goes forward, one friend starts to think the other guy he's talking to is the beast.
Oh, shoot.
and he goes missing, and then the story goes from there.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's very cool. And this one uses, and why I think this animation is a little superior to some of the other ones, is it uses the animation to tell the story.
Okay.
And in abstract movement and stuff, tells the story. So it's, wow. The segment with the man with the dog ends quite satisfyingly, as he has done some horrible shit with his dogs up to this point, and well, it doesn't work out for him in the end. So that's kind of like, thank you.
Yay.
But the abstract storytelling of the weird world around at this point has gotten very strange. I'm like, God damn, this is just... Somebody call this person for Suicide Watch.
Oh, no.
Sounds rough.
Let's get him some help. Let's get him some friends.
And the fifth story is far and away my favorite. Whoever put this together, anthology, did the right things, like real strong at the beginning with the kid with the bug, and a fucking amazing one at the end. So you get done watching it going, man, that whole thing was great, although it was good. But this was written by Richard McGuire and Michael Puris and directed by McGuire. This one's a guy breaks into a house during a blizzard. And what makes this one so goddamn cool, and one of the neater animated things I think I've seen in a very, very long time, is it is very, very black and white. But you almost see nothing of the guy. You know what's going on all the time, but you see very little. Like for when he first walks in, he lights a match, and all you can see is this big empty screen with this little match with the guy's face as he walks forward. Then as you need to see something, you'll see it in the background. And I was like, fuck, this is so good. And he's following along the walls. You can see where he's going. You never get lost either. It never gets confusing as to what's going on. There are little moments after moments where I found myself going, holy shit, that's so cool. Like when he walks upstairs and he walks by the railings on the stairs, and the way it's illustrated, just this little and that simple thing was so goddamn cool. And there's a bit where he lights a fire. You see him light the fire and reverses back to him, and suddenly you hear the flame go woof, and the whole room lights up for like a second. It just goes woof, and then it's all gone. And it's just back to, you can see his face and his hands until he loses a boot. Then you can see 1 foot. So it's just like, holy shit. Wow. And there are wonderfully creepy things revealed in the background because he thinks it's an abandoned house, which of course it's not. I recommend that enough. Even if the rest of the movie, this is sort of boring, fast forward to watch this one. The poster I was talking about earlier has a segment from that where he's doing something where he moves forward and it's his face and his hands, and it's just weird and cool looking. It's like, oh, I can see why they put that on the poster. But at one point he's trying to escape and he knocks a hole in the side of the house basically, and he looks outside, and outside everything's white because it's snowy except for little kids playing, and you can see them. It's like, Jesus Christ. Everything in this one is done incredibly well, and so worth watching the entire film just for this segment.
Is there like a recurring theme that shows up in every one of the shorts?
No, they're only related by being black and white animation, really, except for the recurring ones. So
is there no through line with these? So it's just a anthology of animated shorts? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there's the reoccurring ones, like the guy with his dog shows up 3 times, but it has nothing to do with it. Neither that or the
super
narration.
Abstract.
Yeah, they don't lead to anything.
Right.
So I'm not sure why they were divided up. Rated one probably was divided up because that would have been a lot to listen to.
Sounds like a really great excuse to get a bunch of really good artists together.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yes. And beyond just that, the opening and closing credits are incredibly well done.
Ooh.
With that block style that I was talking about on the poster is done through the thing. It looks like a early Pink Panther style. Or just that kind of neat. And that's, the only color appears one time, and that's in With the Girl's Nightmare. And of course, you know what color that's going to be. Blood red.
Oh, is it because of menstruation?
What?
It's a little girl.
Hey, man, little girls get their periods too. Sorry, guys. I'm sure only dudes listen to this podcast.
It's not.
Kind of with definitely French, because at times it's pretentious as hell.
Yeah.
It is so full of itself, some of the animated segments.
That doesn't sound like the French I know.
I feel like, I Lost My Body was like that too. It was just really like artsy and pretentious, but good.
This is still really interesting to watch. And like I said, it's an anthology. You're not sure about one, fast forward to the next.
Nice. Very cool.
So that's Fears of the Dark, came out sometime in this century.
And how did you see it?
Amazon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Fantastic. Vanessa, you want to tell us more about your Menzies?
Waiting for somebody to ask me. Today's the day.
And for our next genre.
Oddly enough, the film I picked is called Red Line. Not actually about my period.
Oh, my.
Awkward.
From the director of Animatrix World Record and the studio that brought you Summer Wars, Ninja Scroll, and Paprika, comes one of the most exciting and visually inventive films in years, Red Line! Kimura, Yu Aoi, Tadanobu Asano. Red Line.
It's incredible. It was a totally random recommendation that was given to me. I had a list of like 20 films. I was super excited. Like out of like all the animation selections, there's just so many cool options. So thank you for that selection. It's really cool.
You're welcome.
So good. The release date of this depends on what country you're in and whether you saw it in the festival circuit or not. So it's somewhere between 2009, 2011. It was 30 million.
What?
Return
I
is
think
8.
I know the movie you're talking about.
For an animated film,
Yes.
it was 30 million?
It took 7 years to make.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was 100,000 pages of hand-drawn animation.
Oh, shit.
It is a beautiful film. So this is very anime. It's a very like anime feeling film meets like race cars.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
okay. It is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I think it played at SIF. I'm pretty sure it did.
It might
play at
have. It might have.
not-
It did a huge festival circuit.
Yeah.
Not familiar with this at all, but I am so intrigued.
It's crazy because when it starts out, the first thought I had was this animation looks a lot like. Have you read the comic Black Hole?
No.
Okay. It's just really thick, heavy black lines. And it almost looks like a graffiti style. It is beautiful. Every frame is gorgeous. And it is like adrenaline on crack. I don't even know how to say this. It is like so intense, but it's so well portrayed as far as like pacing. So you'll have these moments of like cars racing through and then quiet silence of somebody like waiting for it to go by and then back into like the race again. It's so beautifully well done. So the basic plot is you have the most popular and dangerous racing event in the galaxy is called Redline. You have a variety of racers who are competing to be top, but when you get to the Redline circuit, like all the rules go out the window. So you can like kill each other with weapons. You can like bring in like dirty tricks. Like everything is just fair game. You have crazy different racers from all over the universe. So you have like aliens, you have dogs, you have robots, you have hot women for no reason.
Because it's anime.
Because it's anime. Why not? So good.
Does it look like anime, like Japanese anime?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It does.
Okay.
It does, but it's like the highest quality anime you'll ever see.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am so intrigued.
It is so hot to watch. It is just beautiful. Like you can tell they spent 7 years on it. Like every fucking frame, to the point where some alien species are in a different style of art. Crazy. It's losing my shit while watching it. I was like, this is just stunning. I don't care what happens to the plot. In fact, the plot is actually pretty basic. Like there isn't a really intense, heavy plot going on aside from there's a character you're following named JP. He's kind of this guy he's a troublemaker. He's in debt a little bit to the mob. He's done like some like throwing of his game. So he's supposed to come in second place in the very first race that you're following. And you can tell he kind of wants to do first, but because of an accident, he's forced into second place, which means he gets all this money. In the meantime, he is racing against a girl who is named Crab Sonchi Si. I don't know what that means, but it's important for some reason. So Sonchi is like been just desperate to be a part of Redline all of her life. Ever since she was a kid, she's just been working her ass off. You know, because they do some like back in the day sequences. They do a lot of like remembering back in time, and you see this kind of weird relationship where JP and Sonchi actually interacted, but they don't really realize it. Like he remembers and he's always held a candle for her, but she has like no idea. She's just been on one track mind to get to this big race. And they both kind of work their way up to this race. He, by accident, ends up being allowed to race in the red line. She wins their first circuit together, and that's why she gets to go. She's just like a top, incredibly awesome racer. He gets to go in because the red line race is so dangerous, and it's on this world that doesn't want them there. Robo world. And the Robo dudes are like, no, we do not want to race on our land for some reason. It makes no sense. But so he was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to be in this race. Hell yes. I owe the mob a lot of money. I sure could use a race right now. And 63% audience Rotten Tomatoes, 84% critics. But it says no consensus yet. So there's not quite enough reviews to really make a statement. If you look this film up online, you really have to dig to find good information on it. I think because it's a Japanese movie.
Oh.
So there's just not a lot of, in fact, to the point, my biggest gripe about this movie is that I bought it on Amazon so I could see it for $4 and they didn't have a Japanese speaking version.
So this was a festival film that most of the critics who had seen it at festivals loved it.
Loved it.
But
loved it.
Not very many.
That's not enough to make it.
But
how interesting.
What year was this again?
This was 2009 to 2011. It got released in various different formats throughout that time.
I believe Isaac tried to get this for Myth.
Oh, interesting.
It'd been around for a little while at that point, but
It's so weird
he
to
wanted
me
to
to
get
think
that.
that MIF was like 10 years ago, but it was.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was
Weird.
It was incredibly highly received by critics. In fact, actually the studio that put this film out went on to be highly successful and like get a lot of projects despite the budget loss because of the quality of the art. So
Well, it sounds like from what you're saying that they put all the work into making it look really cool. And the
Yep.
story was just sort of like, hey, let's do Death Race 2000.
Totally.
Good.
Right.
Okay, we're good.
100%. That's exactly what happened. So the art is just like stunning in every single second of it. And the story is it is very secondary.
There's nothing wrong with a simple story, especially a movie like this. You know?
Yeah, it's super fun. It's super fast. The director is Takeshi Kawaki, who directed this was his directional debut. This is the first thing he ever did. And he went on to do Vampire Hunter D, as well as Animatrix and Ninja Scroll.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so he actually, The writer is Katsuhito Ishii, who did a film called Smuggler, as well as, I wrote this down. I know this is like a big thing in Japan. I don't know what it means, but I love the title. Sharks Man and Peach Hip Girl is one of his big titles.
Sure.
And Party 7. Super cool.
1 through 6 kind of boring, but Party 7.
Party
Excellent.
7.
37
Focus.
is really where it comes into its own.
Damn right. 14 titles as well. He does a lot of directing of his own projects usually. So writing as a kind of backseat thing is a little bit unusual for him, but he did actually do a little bit of directing of like the sound design and stuff on this project. Info that I picked up on it. They actually had to delay their premiere. They had planned on being a part of the Anakil International Animated Film Festival, but they had to just put it off because they spent so much time making this look good that they went with the Icarno International Film Festival.
Oh, that one.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally second place. Whoops. It was the last project that Manga Entertainment ever released. Very exciting. The soundtrack has 42 songs. It's very techno based. It sounds great.
Wow.
It's super energetic. One critic, I love this quote so much. This is a great way of describing this film. If Scott Pilgrim is an assault on the senses, Redline is a declaration of war.
Wait a second. I was kind of in, and now I'm all the way in.
So good.
Scott
It is so
Pilgrim
intense.
was like my favorite film in 2010 or whatever that was.
The first scene, it instantly, oh my God, it just grabs you because you're in the middle, you get dumped into the middle of a race and you see these people waiting at a stop in like the finishing line, right? And this kid really wants to take a photo and he's like, Dad, get your camera out. They're coming. And it's like kind of quiet and you got these people really excited. And then you go, and like you're watching these people like throw like shit into their engine to make them go faster, and they're like hopping over each other and exploding off on the side, and then you go back to this like quiet serene scene of this kid being like, Dad, get your camera ready, and it goes and it's like super intense again. It is so well done. Even though the story is really simple, I think that was a really strong decision because it allows for this space where you're just completely thrown apart by this crazy anime. The main characters, you have JP, who's the main character, who I said like he's got some debt, is played by Takayu Kimuru, who actually does a lot of not anime acting. He was in 2046. He was in Love and Honor. He did some voice acting and actually got moved in front of camera, so that's pretty cool. He's part of the Hero series, which I know nothing about, and he was also in Howl's Moving Castle. You have Sonashi, who's the girl racer, who's played by Yu Oi, who did 82. All of them have done like a million projects. She did 82 projects.
They just
holy crap!
work so much.
She's super well known, and she's a huge personality in Japan. As Frisbee, who plays like the kind of manager of JP, who's like tied into the mob. He's sort of the corrupting force / helpful force of this main character, who's like kind of the reason why the main character is in trouble, but also there to support him and make sure he succeeds. It's a weird balance. It's really nicely played of a best friend / worst enemy of this guy, which I really liked. So he's played by Obu Asano. He does 143 roles on IMDb. He was actually in a couple of USA titles that you might remember, such as Thor. Every Thor movie, he's played a character called Hogun. He was in, he was in Midway. He was in Silence. He's been in something called.
Question.
Yep.
Did you know about this film before I picked this genre?
Nope. I never knew anything about it. I picked it
cool.
randomly because somebody suggested it to me.
That is really cool because I'm like, I need to watch this movie now.
You have to. You have to see this film. I almost want to give you like my Amazon account so you can watch it for free and not pay $4.
Well, wait a second. Is it Prime?
It is Amazon Prime.
Then I
but
can watch it.
You do have to pay for it.
So it's a rental on
It's
Amazon.
a rental on Amazon Prime. And they don't have the like Japanese version that's dubbed. You have to watch the fucking like.
Is it horribly dubbed or is it okay?
No,
dubbed?
it's actually really well done. And it almost doesn't matter. I will say it was okay because it's not about the characters as much as it's about the art.
It sounds fucking amazing.
It's so good. It's so good. My kind of takeaways from it, I talked about the pacing of the adrenaline against the quiet is perfect. The changing of the art styles between characters is perfect.
Hold on. Let me interject real quick. It's on Tubi.
Oh, shit. I made a mistake.
You
I'm
gotta
sorry.
look at the Just Watch, man.
Oh, watch it on Tubi. It might be a better
shaking
experience.
his phone at all of us.
Yes. The graffiti style / like the art style is, oh my God, you can tell they spent 7 years. That 100,000 frames of art, it's there. It's totally there.
So,
Princess Sparkle it shows up out of nowhere. There's a lot of tropes in this that is just played so nicely.
Again, that's anime.
Yep, totally anime, but they know what they're doing. They really do. There's this weirdly, it's a super romantic film. It's all about love.
what? This is the first time I heard you say anything romantic
It's
about
slowly
this.
because JP has this thing for Sonchi and he like remembers like there's this relationship that's kind of evolved and then it's my pick.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch this.
Yes, watch it. It's super cool. It's super cool.
Not on your account because apparently I have to pay for this.
Sorry. Watch it on Tubi. Eric
Yeah.
solved this
Oh,
for
right.
you.
Right.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, I don't know
never
about
heard of
you
this.
guys,
I never heard of this.
but I'm not opposed to like animation part 2 some
Oh,
point
we'll be
down
down
the
there.
road.
We
yeah.
have to do it because there are so many movies I put in the
Yes.
wings. I still have never seen Watership Down.
Oh,
I know.
Jesus.
I could have thrown in Paprika, which I have seen. There
That
are
one's
so
pretty
many
good,
good
too.
films out there.
Wow, or White Dog or any of those.
Oh my God,
things.
exactly. White
Anything
Dog,
that'll
fuck,
make
man.
everybody
Well,
cry.
you probably don't want to watch Plague Dogs.
I have
would've-
not
Oh,
seen
right.
it.
Plague Dog. Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
gonna cry the whole time.
It's by the same guy who did Watership Down, but it's far, far more depressing.
What?
Very, very, very.
But I've heard Watership Down is really
Watership
depressing.
Down's a rough watch. It's really, really good. The book
Secret
is
of Nim?
fucking amazing.
Ruined my childhood.
I almost picked Secret of Nim
Yeah,
for
that's
this.
good.
And then I was like, I'm going rock and roll. But
totally
the
almost
thing
picked it
is,
too.
I like a lot of very early 80s animation.
Yeah.
And you guys both picked stuff that was not in that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, this genre has a lot of legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I feel like it's super overlooked. We spend a lot of time looking at Disney and then Ghibli as like our backup, but there's so much cool random shit out there.
Yeah.
Well, just even with the Disney stuff, I'm like, I could go Treasure Planet. you
Right?
guys.
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen
God.
that one. But
I
that's
loved
fucking
Hercules.
great.
No, I loved the llama one. I don't even
Yes,
Emperor's
the new groove.
Groove.
That was way
It was
underrated.
amazing. It was super underrated. I was one of my favorite Disney movies for a
Well,
long
it does
time.
have one of my favorite voice actors too. The guy who did the original Tick.
that
Putty.
deep.
Putty,
From
yeah.
Seinfeld.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why
he
can't I
plays
think
like
of his
the
name?
big
He's also
bug guy.
in that one that we watch all the time. The
Is that the same voice actor as Venture Brothers?
Yes, Venture Brothers. yes.
Yes, that guy's awesome.
Why can't
So
we
good.
think of his name?
I,
Joe Sherlock will tell us.
yes, please.
Man about town in animation.
Okay.
All right. So that means that we're going to do an animation part 2 at some point. But next
Not
week.
this time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whose pick is it next week?
It's Eric's pick.
That's right.
Well, say something then, motherfucker.
We're keeping it wide range. There was a lot in animation. A few months back, we did Asian territories, which there's a lot.
right.
European films,
Okay.
whatever, man. France,
Doesn't even
Spain,
Generic.
England, generic Europe.
Got it.
I love it.
Horror.
I love it.
Got it. Kinda
Okay.
Done.
So Many thanks to everybody who's sharing our posts, who's liking our posts, who's doing everything that is pushing the hashtag Strange Eons Army out there.
Yep. So
and I'm talking
good.
about Ron Forbeck. I'm talking about Danny Wilford. I'm talking about Heather Reesby. I'm talking about Bob Hale. I'm talking about, who else am I talking about?
Langley and
Langley
Joe
and-
Sherlock
Yeah,
and Jamie and
And I also have to say, not only did my cousin binge watch us, but then a friend of mine, Tracy Schreier, binge listen to
you
us.
can watch on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
not, you know,
totally.
By the way,
No, it's amazing how many people that I know who are just coming out of the woodwork and just being like, yeah, I totally just listened to 5 of your episodes in a row. So thank you guys so much for like tuning in. It's huge that you're listening, and we hope that you like are finding some cool titles you wouldn't have otherwise found.
right, absolutely.
All right,
I stole
thanks.
your line, Kelly. Sorry.
No,
This has been
that's
Strange
exactly
Eons
what I was trying
Radio.
to say too. So we will see you next week with European horror.
That's right.
Our show is recorded somewhere high above Naval Station Everett at the nexus of all realities and is engineered and produced by Eric Margaret. Our theme music is Strange Eons Part 1 by the band Nightshade and is used with permission. Find Strange Eons Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and wherever fine podcasts are found.